Yeah.
I think they're gonna have they got something big coming to AEW soon. So you and I heard about this. I think probably 10 days ago.
Something like that.
Sean Ross Sapp broke the news today that Kota Ibushi set to make his AEW debut in Blood and Guts. AEW has not been shy about alluding to Kota Ibushi coming. But yeah, it looks like he's in, man, and I think that's awesome.
Yeah, I'm a big fan. I still remember that All-In main event, the original All-In main event with Kota and the Bucks versus, I believe it was Ray, Bandito, and the two Rays, Phoenix and Mysterio. So,
Yeah.
man, it was cool getting to see, because he's not a guy that comes over here often, you know. So getting to see Kota Ibushi again is going to be really cool, and he's an absolute lunatic. So, what better guy to put in a big bloody cage match than possibly the, you know, one of him and Jun Kasai are like the two like lunatics I think of when I think of Japanese pro wrestling, big names. So should be fun. Rumor is Wheeler's hurt. Wheeler Yuta got hurt.
Yeah, I'm curious to see how that plays out, and if it's gonna be so substantial that it keeps him out of the match, because they're already doing a mystery partner on the heel side, and I think they're teasing that it's Jericho, which means it's probably not going to be Jericho. But now they would have to have a second mystery partner if Wheeler Yuta gets out.
Yeah, they're gonna have to. I mean, like again, things happen. They're gonna have to figure something out, because this is a big match, right? It's blood and guts.
Yeah,
the last two have been pretty good. Like I really like the one they did last year. And it's not like they can lean into people like, oh, they just get Osprey from New Japan. Like, well, there's a little thing called the G1 going on. You know, you're not going to be able to borrow anyone from New Japan right now. So you're going to have to be a little more creative. What that means, I don't know. So it's going to be interesting to see kind of what they can pull off. Again, this is where, you know, when your back's to the wall, it's where you got to be the most creative.
Yeah, and, you know, they have relationships everywhere, but they got one of the biggest rosters out there. There's the depth of talent is incredible. They could pull up almost anybody on that heel side, and it would be, the match is going to be fine, right? Like, I know you don't want to have the Savio Vega No Way Out 1998 moment.
Exactly.
But as long as they're a heel and they kind of look like they would fit in that style, I think they would be okay. But now we, you know, Jericho. So now they might be looking for two bodies. They had one already in mind, and they were teasing Jericho, which meant it probably wasn't going to be Jericho. I think now you could just put Jericho
have to do
in
Chris
there.
Jericho.
Yeah. I think that makes sense.
You inadvertently built yourself a back door, right?
Yeah.
So now you just go, oh, okay, now Chris Jericho has to be the guy, right? And then you don't lose it. The problem is if you have this, oh, we're gonna have a mystery opponent, mystery guy coming in there. It's the Blade. People are like, oh,
yeah. Well, yeah, it has to be a bigger name than the Blade. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
But who they have a good roster, but I mean, who would you put in that huge spot? I'm struggling to think.
Yeah, you could. I think, you know, Roosh. He hasn't been around in a while.
I think,
you know,
Roosh is the worst person to put in that spot.
You think so? Because
he'll make it all about Roosh, and I love Roosh. But Roosh in that match, that whole thing is going to be all about Roosh. He's going to murder everyone, his team, the other team, referees. He's going to make that all about Roosh. Which, you know, I don't blame him. You know, like, I get it. I don't. You gotta pick the right guy, and it has to be Chris Jericho.
Yeah. Yeah. I definitely would go with Chris Jericho.